have been an angel investor on the side and started investing more and more into these early stage startups that I was seeing in these different emerging markets. And it kind of just grew from there. And now I'm kind of focusing more and more on investing, which led me to creating First Check Ventures, which is an early stage investment firm.
This is another episode of the Founders Pack podcast. My guest today is my new friend, Ali Jamal from First Check Ventures. How are you doing, Ali?
I'm great. I'm great. Thanks, Michael, for inviting me to come on.
No problem. You had joined us on one of our events and we've been talking a few times. So I got to know you a little bit, but maybe for people that don't know, who is Ali and what is First Check Ventures?
Sure. So, First Check Ventures is a early stage investment firm, but I don't really think of myself as an investor. My background is in product and growth. So I spent the last decade doing product and growth, working for a variety of mobile app companies, initially in Silicon Valley, and then taking roles in Asia and Latin America. I spent the last 5 years in Latin America leading a couple of different unicorns in their growth in performance marketing, and then had been an angel investor on the side and started investing more and more into these early stage startups that I was seeing in these different emerging markets. And it kind of just grew from there. And now I'm kind of focusing more and more on investing, which led me to creating First Check Ventures, which is an early stage investment firm.
That's such an exciting journey, actually. That sounds really interesting. And, the last, I would say, what, 12, probably since 2007 is when the iPhone came out, probably since 2009, 10, we've had like this mobile revolution, we've had SaaS. What are you seeing now and what are you interested in investing in?
So, I think the buzzword du jour is AI. And, I can't deny the fact that it's really exciting what's going to be possible through AI and machine learning going forward. I mean, I did my master's statistics and actually started my career as a data scientist.
Oh,
But for me, um, the brand new cutting edge technology is amazing, and it's really having um, has a lot of potential. But what I'm really thinking a lot about is how do I directly impact people and directly impact people's lives? And um, I think that there's this big opportunity in markets that are overlooked, to just start offering everyday basic services that we have, um, that for one reason or another just aren't happening in these markets. These tend to relate around um, things where kind of government and fiduciary responsibilities. So a lot of financial regulations, I think, in how to save money, invest money, share money between people, um, access to credit, access to debt, um, marketplaces, just making things more efficient, right? Like in a lot of markets, there's just a ton of middlemen, and everybody's trying to wet their beak. And how do we get those people out of that, you know, wedding, like a beak wedding mentality
yeah.
into adding value to people and adding value to society. And so, what I tend to invest a lot of my own time and energy in is, how do we get this growing middle class globally access to cars and down payments and investment vehicles, ability to access their cash early, right? Even in the US, I think it's something like 4 out of 10 people don't have enough money to withstand a $500 shock, right? So
That's crazy.
what are the things that we can do that people in Mexico can withstand $100 shock? Um, and people in Pakistan could save money for their first down payment? And how do we have, um, how do we think about making it easier for small businesses and the small business owners either to get their supply directly from, the Coca-Colas of the world and not having to go through all these distributors, or being able to pay their employees easier or faster. So those are the problems that I'm most excited about solving, and that I think we can, really solve over the next 20 years.
So is most of your thesis based around fintech?
It's a lot around fintech. It's a lot around just my own personal observations of living in some of these other countries, and I think fintech and the ability to just exchange money and time and effort for things just hasn't evolved, and that tends to be the first step to enabling everything else. So I think before you get to having a SaaS in Colombia, right? You need to have the ability for businesses to pay for that SaaS service.
Right.
So they need an ability for them to get paid, right?
Yeah.
So they need corporate credit cards, and they need corporate bank accounts, and they need, you know, all these sorts of things that, you know, if you're trying to go and pay your SaaS bill by going down to the bank every day and doing a wire transfer, it's just, mind-blowingly slow, right? And inefficient. So first, I think you have the fintech and the ability to exchange money and for time and goods. And then once that is smooth, you can then add on all these other businesses. Marketplaces, I think, start to be possible once you um, eliminate the friction and the but we like the reason these people wet their beak is because the people don't have the money, and they need to have different services provided between, right? So the fact that we can start to have a smoother financial system starts to create the ability to do all of these other things and really kind of just make life better for people.
I love it. We've all got a crash course, literally, in banking in the last few months. And I think a lot of people are like breaking down and assessing, like, so you're saying if I give you 150 bucks, you don't really have my 150 bucks on deposit. And it causes old world problems. And you would think that this would be kind of the moment for, we've seen so much money go into like Web3, and a part of that is crypto.
Yeah.
This would be the shining time for that, but there's still this missing scaffolding, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it reminds me of that scene um, in It's a Wonderful Life where there's the bank run, right? And they're like, no,
I
I don't
posted
have
this
your
on the
money. It
internet.
goes to that guy's house and that guy's small business, right? And we're creating
Yeah, your
these.
money is in his house and your money is in his house. That's so funny you said that, because I posted that on LinkedIn and I know people registered. I was like, wait, you don't know what this is? This is a bank run from like the 20s or something.
Yeah.
And we had savings, and remember
Uh,
this
but
loan crisis? This is something that keeps repeating over and over. So that's interesting. Yeah, it's so bizarre though. I feel like there was so much hype around the wrong things with blockchain that
yeah.
like it was just like a game. Someone like tricked you into doing these other dumb things, when what it really should be doing is maturing as a development stack.
Yeah, no, it's so like, personally, right? I think, blockchain as a technology and even Bitcoin, right, has a ton of real world uses. I
Should.
just wasn't seeing people building real world things. I was seeing
Yeah.
people build, this
Monkey
crazy
fingers.
fictional sci-fi reality. Like, cool, right? Like I like sci-fi is cool, and I know that a lot of people want to like see this sci-fi type world. I just want to see like everyday people be able to do everyday things, right? Like it shouldn't be this difficult, uh, to save some money and to be able to provide food for your family and send your
Right.
kids to college. And
I agree.
what we think of as an American dream, it shouldn't be an American dream, right? It should be a global dream. And
You
it
think?
is, right? People in all these other places dream of these same things. So why not enable that?
Yeah, I agree. I love your mission. I love what you're investing in. That's really interesting. All right, if you could offer founders only one piece of advice, what would that be?
I think it would be, talk to people and talk to investors, talk to advisors, make sure that you understand like what your situation is, because everything you only get one chance to have that first impression. And so if you come with, not enough traction, or you're presenting your idea in a way that doesn't necessarily make sense, it's hard for the person on the other side of the table ever to kind of come back to your side. So, the more people you have that are friendly, that'll tell you, hey, this part doesn't work. And, okay, your valuation makes sense, but you're taking too much dilution, raise less, or, this is not the environment to have this kind of slide in your deck, right? So like all these sorts of things are changing in real time. And people that are there that'll probably give you feedback. Go talk to them, right? Like, and the more you talk to them, the better off it's going to be, and the easier it's going to be. Like, don't wait until you're actually pitching somebody to get feedback.
I love it. That's great advice. Something we advocate for, which is rapidly prototype and go talk to real customers and investors immediately.
Exactly.
What is the role of partnerships or community been in your success so far?
It's been a huge part of what I'm doing, right? So I've been mainly investing as a syndicate, which means that I'm writing a small check, but the rest of this group of people who I'm connected with also come in and follow into my investments. And those people come from all walks of life, from all over the world, and have all sorts of experiences. And it's been incredibly valuable, not just to me as an investor to hear their thoughts, their feedback, but also their ability to help impact these startups and make introductions to potential customers, potential advisors. Some of them have joined some of these portfolio companies as potential advisors, and
Oh, wow.
on top of coming in with their investment, making introductions to the next set of investors and giving advice, giving feedback, right? So this role of a community and being able to create something that's kind of like-minded people dedicated to this mission has been extremely important to me.
I love it. That's great to hear. First of all, thank you for spending time with me. We love hearing about what you're working on and want to invite you back anytime. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you, and who's a good connection? Like, what type of people would you like to talk to?
Yeah. So, easiest way is probably on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active there. I'm also on, Twitter, but I'm not as active, and still kind of growing my user base. Uh, it's just Ali Jamal on LinkedIn, and then on Twitter it's Ali Jamal two or Mr. Ali Jamal. Um,
We'll include
and
the
then
link in the show notes, so there won't be any
all right,
mistakes.
I always forget which one is which, so I always
Yeah, no
um,
worries.
and then I'm looking for. I'm always looking to talk to and connect with, great founders and people who want to have a positive impact in the ecosystem. I think especially within emerging markets and people that are building real solutions to everyday problems. And then always looking for, people who want to invest in these sort of companies, right? One, I share my deal flow. They want to share their deal flow with me. Just being able to have more people around to help these great founders is really important.
That's amazing. All right, we will include all those details in the show notes so there's no confusion. um, Appreciate you spending time with me again. The final thing is, when we have interesting people on the podcast, as you know, we like you to nominate another interesting person who's typically a founder or an investor in a scalable venture of some sort. Who would you, Ali, like to nominate as a featured guest that you can introduce us to?
So my first investment as a syndicate lead was in a startup called Yummy, and
Oh,
their founder Vicente is an amazing person, and I think he'd be a great person to have on your show.
Vicente, that is awesome. All right, you've been nominated, Vicente, as a featured guest, and we will accept that and look forward to that introduction. Ali, we appreciate you spending so much time with us, and we look forward to following your journey.
Yeah, thank you.